So that's an interesting question, because if you look at, call it the first 4 games, our approach was a positive one in terms of the shot selection that we had as a team. Most of the guys were playing sweeps, reverse sweep, but the interesting thing is we executed. And when you don't execute, like on a day-to-day, it's always going to look like what happened. It looked frantic, but in the bigger scheme of things, I'm not disappointed. We had a game plan, and unfortunately, it didn't work. There's obviously lessons to be learned, no doubt. But all in all, I'm happy that we took the options that we took. At the end of the day, we just didn't execute today. Yeah, look, I go back 5 years. I think we scored 115 here and defended it in the T20 game. So in the back of my mind, I always knew there was a fighting chance. Sri Lanka had everything to lose at that point in time in the halfway period. They were expected to win the game, so all we could focus on was trying to take wickets. That was the only way we were going to win the game, was to try and take 10 wickets within 15 overs. And that was always the angle. We got close in the end, and for me, walking, as I said to the guys, if we can walk off the field knowing that we gave it our level best, we tried to attack as best as we could, tried to take wickets every single ball, then we can sort of walk off with our heads held high. Obviously, we know we didn't bat well enough. 30, 40 runs would have been probably the difference in the game for us winning the game. But still a lot of positive to take away, which is good for us. Yeah, I mean, we obviously would have liked to have walked away with some success here in the last game. But again, for me, the success is not the win or loss. It's a building period for us in terms of the World Cup. Even though it's a T20 game, we're trying to develop something within our squad, a different mindset, a different approach. And there are going to be times where you're going to get it wrong. And today, unfortunately, we got it wrong. Our execution wasn't there. But for me, the mindset was good. And we were in a positive frame of mind, always looking to take the game on. And if we continue with that kind of mindset and we execute more times than not, we're gonna give ourselves the best chance going into an exciting World Cup next year. No, not at all. I mean, if you look at the way the game unfolded for us, it was our seamers that dominated. Even though Sri Lanka dominated with their spin, our strength has always been our seamers. We've got some good pace in our attack, and obviously Tabraiz Shamsi is always going to be a wicket taker for us. So I didn't think we went in a spinner light. Unfortunately, it came down to the runs on the board, and as a batting unit, we need to take responsibility for that. Yeah, look, there's various ways of skinning a cat. There's no right or wrong way. That's the style of play that they've adopted in their innings, and it worked for them today. There are going to be times where that doesn't work, and the style of play that we're trying to adopt is going to work for us. So I don't believe that there's a right or wrong. I think you decide as a team the style of cricket that you want to play, and you've got to stick to it, whether you get it right or wrong. And I think if you can be consistent with it, whichever way you go, I think that's where you're going to find the most success. Look, it's always a difficult task to win in the subcontinent. Even though we've had some good success in the past, we always recognize that coming here, Sri Lanka, we've only won once in a test series before. So it's always going to be difficult. And yes, they will be disappointed with that test series. From a one-day perspective, huge strides in my opinion. Even though we lost that 4th game, I'm excited by the brand of cricket that we're trying to adopt, and I believe we can only get better. Yes, the one-off T20 game, there's lots of lessons to be learned and decisions to be made in a different way. And that's something that we can discuss as a team. I don't think we're walking away with negativity. I think there's a lot of positives, and that's always good coming or leaving the shores of the subcontinent. I've certainly experienced many tours in the subcontinent where you walk away with your hand in your head, not knowing where your next run or next wicket's going to come from. And subcontinents have always dominated teams like us. So there's a lot of positive, which is exciting for me. Yeah, he's an exciting prospect for South African cricket, and he's a wicket taker. And as a spinner, it's always great to have match winners in your team. I mean, you look at the likes of Imran Tahir, who's been a match winner for us for many years, and to have another one coming through now, even Keshav Maharaj has become a match winner for South Africa, and that's exciting to see for our spin department. Claude Henderson has played a big role in that, working with the spinners, so exciting to see spinners putting up their hands, and especially in these conditions. Yeah, it's nice to have those options as a selection team, you know. I think the conditions are going to determine whether you sort of play them in tandem, but it's nice to have both of them potentially in your squad, and having the opportunity to pick both of them is exciting. If you have conditions similar to this, or even English conditions, I mean, that's where the World Cup's going to be, so it's a good option to have if you know that the opposition you're going to play against doesn't necessarily play spin well. So it's definitely a great feather in our cap to have. Look, Faf is always going to be a big loss for us. I mean, he's our leader, and he leaves a big hole when he leaves. But again, I always see it as opportunities for guys to step up. You know, we've got a great squad of players, huge amount of talent in our squad, and when an opportunity comes, you know, I've certainly experienced that you've got to try and take it with both hands, whether it's through a loss of form, whether it's through injury. You've got to take it with both hands. And the beauty of it is, as I said, we've got such a exciting amount of talent in our squad that even when a big player like that misses out, I'm expectant of guys stepping up to the plate and performing as well as he's performed for many years. So yes, he leaves a big hole, but always a great opportunity for other guys.